Yo, Big Kev, what's up, bro?
Got to turn
What's
off
good?
This watch too, man.
Turn off this watch. Wow.
Yeah. Got the Waymo watch.
The way. Somebody did their episode studying. All right, I'm with it. What's up, man? What's going on?
Chilling. Feeling good.
Good for you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a good week.
How are you?
I'm well. You know what? Opening question. Let's get right into it. I'm curious of whether this is why you're feeling good. Is your little one home for the entire week?
Not the entire week. No, she had school today and then tomorrow, and then it's just going to be a lot of screens.
Oh man! So she got the normal thing, Wednesday through Friday, or is it Thursday? Okay, cool. So Wednesday, she got an extra day, right? Technically,
yeah. I don't remember getting the Wednesday off, but she gets the Wednesday, and it's weird. I know I've only been back here for a few years, but it feels like people are like itching to get out of town, so everything's just dead this week.
Oh yeah.
So far, at least for today. So I don't know. But.
Yeah. Didn't really feel like that today, but I will say, they got the whole week off, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know. It's cool for me.
Is that what we're calling it these days? I was like, the whole week. I remember. So here's the thing. I went to a school before we moved from LA to West Covina where we just got Thanksgiving Day off.
Oh, you had to go back on Friday?
We had to go back on that Friday.
Oh, wow.
The private school I went to. I was like...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then after that, it was only Thursday and Friday. Like, all right, yeah, you got these 3 days. You got to go for all three of them. Teacher gave you some goofy test right before, so you was engaged on the last day. Like, oh, come on, man.
That was the worst.
Hey, like, what are they doing with these kids, man? You know what I mean? Now they just on their phone. You know what I'm saying?
Like, whatever. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I feel like at some point the public school teachers, the only chip they have is holidays. So it's just going to end up being like 14 weeks of Christmas and 2 weeks of Thanksgiving.
Right? Get Halloween off. I'm like, yo, more power to them. I'm happy for them, but I was like, when did they have off this whole week? For real? What are we going to do with them? You know what I'm saying? Now I go somewhere. So yeah, it was crazy. We're going to get into this actually, but all right, so it's that time, right? We got the sports well, no, I'm sorry. It's not the sports trifecta. That's wrong. Right. We had the American sports trifecta convergence. That'll be what I try to call it. When baseball is going on, football is starting, basketball is starting, and then all waving in at once. And the excitement is in the air, and then we dwindle down to one sport, right? And usually for me, my team, football team is normally losing by now, so I'm normally like, there's only one sport going on. You know what I'm saying? But where are you at sports wise, Kev? I always have to check these days. I'm just curious.
You don't have to check. Watching.
So just nah. Huh?
We blew it yesterday, evidently though.
Yeah, we did. Well, no, we did not actually. I turned on the radio when that happened. I was like, whoa, this is happening.
Wait a minute. So, yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about it. After this. But yeah.
Yeah, man. I think we timed it perfectly, actually. So we were good. For those that are wondering, yes, we did record our episode, our battle of hip hop knowledge with Stupefly Crew. Shout out to Most. Shout out to Cheap Shot. Shout out to Craig.
Yep.
We recorded our episode
of Headspin
yesterday. As of the day of the show. Yeah, I was getting to it. The show Headspin. Shout out to the whole crew. It was fun. And I know you guys are dying to know who won, so I'm going to tell y'all right now that we are under a strict non-disclosure agreement and we will not be able to tell you until the show comes out. They didn't give us a date it's gonna come out. By the way, I got there as they were finishing up, kind of giving the information for the prior show, prior to contestants they were recording, and they were talking about around April. So y'all got to chill. But I will say this:
you did get there very early. Were you you got there a lot earlier than I did? Were you doing some light calisthenics and stuff before? Little meditation.
See, this is the thing. You people who live north of Hollywood don't have any issue or concern with whether you'll be late to anything going into Hollywood or not. For those of us that live east of the city, we are everywhere an hour early, or else we ain't gonna be there. Period. So
as long as you have a printed during baseball season, as long as you have a printed version of the Dodgers home schedule, you're good. You're good. Can work around it.
Hey, listen, right? Dodger game if you live east of the city, no. If you're going to Dodger game and that joint's starting at 5:30, you at Philippe's at like 12. Like, fine, we taking this bus over there, whatever. So, but man, Kev, let's get into the other side, man, because it's sports. So I want to talk about this one. You know what I'm saying? Sports. So let's get into it. Rap Six Radio, sports. All right. Anyway, Kev, let's get to the other side. You ready, man?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Rap Sucks Radio. Blah, 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 blah.
What up, y'all? You are live on Rap Sucks Radio with your homeboy Trek Life and your fam, Kev Sakoda.
Sports talk with Kev and Trek. And stuff.
We need that gridiron note. Like, I got to get that. In a dunk. Like, every time I say I'm going to get it, you know what I mean? But I keep forgetting. Thank y'all for tuning in to Rap Sucks Radio, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you would like to check past episodes of Rap Sucks Radio, you can go to rapsucksradio.com or any of your favorite podcasting platforms. You can also catch us on television on BTSN, that's Behind the Scenes Network. Download the app or channel on Roku or any of your Amazon Fire devices, and we are there. The app is called BTSN, Behind the Scenes Network. We want in. Yep. Kev, man.
Yes, sir.
Sports topics.
So
here's the thing. So you didn't turn the game on when you got in the car.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because when we got in the car, were they in the third quarter?
They were jet like that. When I turned on the game, they were in the third quarter.
Had it already happened, or
two? It was two plays before, like the foul. Before this happened, like pretty much as I was pulling out in the parking lot.
Yeah, because they were getting rocked a little bit when I walked in.
Rocked. Yeah. Yep. For those of y'all who want to know what I'm talking about, the topic title of this. Kev, you know what? My bad. Who's got a show, Kev?
Oh,
I always ask.
LeBron James. Does he though? I don't know.
Well,
maybe Shaq and Charles Barkley got to chill.
We're doing the media thing where we bait titling here, but we've done it a couple times this year. Yeah. I actually titled this "Trek Life is considering accidentally elbowing Kev," because Bron might have taught me the way to get away with this. You know what I mean? If I could just figure out a way to be like, yo, watch out. You know what I'm saying? I might actually.
So you're saying you would have to reach up to elbow me in the face. I like this. I like this narrative. This is all fiction.
Either. The reason for this, y'all, is the NBA suspends LeBron James 1 game and Detroit Piston Isaiah Stewart 2 games for an involvement in Sunday's altercation. The source for this is ESPN.com, never Yahoo Sports. Kev was like, yo, you want to pull this from Yahoo Sports? I was like, you want me to pull from the trash? Why would I?
And the Bleacher Report?
In the trash. Yeah, the Bleacher Report that I fell for without talking about as well. Fake tweet. But players involved in LeBron James, Isaiah Stewart, and I'm going to add Nikola Jokic in this. I have a narrative here.
Yep.
All right, check this out. Lakers sports star. I'm just going to get up and leave now. Lakers
sporting athletics superstar.
Like what channel is this? What are we like? Channel 7 News. All right. Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James has been suspended 1 game for recklessly hitting. That's the reason. Detroit Pistons center Isaiah Stewart in the face during their altercation during Sunday's game. Stewart has been suspended 2 games for, quote, escalating an on-court altercation by repeatedly and aggressively pursuing James. These are both very accurately written punishments, by the way. Who served his suspension on Tuesday when the Lakers visited the New York Knicks in the Garden. And Stewart will miss the Pistons' home game against Miami on Tuesday and a game Wednesday against Milwaukee. It really won't matter very much for the Pistons because they're going to be close to last place anyway. James will forfeit about $284,000, Kev. Stewart will forfeit about $45,000. So, which I don't have enough of either. So there's that. The incident happened in third quarter when James and Stewart were jostling for a position during a free throw. Their arms appeared to get intertwined. James swung his elbow, striking Stewart, who quickly had blood streaming from above his eye. Cooler heads seemed to prevail for a moment. Stewart was guided away from the spot where the contact occurred by teammates and coaches, though he appeared to become more agitated along the way. Then he tried to double back, run towards James. A number of people blocked the path, and the incident got uglier. Stewart was assessed 2 technicals. James got the flagrant 2. Both players were kicked out. It's the first suspension in the 19-year career of LeBron James, who has won 4 titles with 3 teams. The Lakers and the Pistons will meet again this coming Sunday, Kev, in Los Angeles. Both players will be there for that. All right. Yeah. This will be interesting.
In LA?
Interesting. In LA. It has to be in LA, yeah.
At the Crypto.com Arena.
At the Crip Arena, per Russell Westbrook. At the Crip Arena. All right, Kev. So as per usual, you get first strike at this. So, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to completely leave it up to you. I mean, and when I said, you know what, I realized that when I said Shaq in Charles Barkley, I was thinking about their reaction to Jokic. So,
yeah.
But I don't know.
See
I
how
mean,
this one goes,
obviously, I don't know the particular rules around contact. Which I just listened to what people were saying about it. But I mean, you got 2 big guys, they tangled, and then what I couldn't tell was whether, LeBron was trying to stop him. He doesn't have a history of playing super crazy or whatever, overly physical to the point of being dirty. But obviously, dude got under his skin, and he lost control a little bit. I couldn't tell if it was his elbow though, or that
it looked like
follow up.
Just looked like the back of his fist. Like forearm/fist area. Yeah.
He like pulled the triple combination, 1-arm triple combination, 1-inch punch on.
He caught homie. Because homie eye was bleeding, his mouth was bleeding. It was like, damn, you hit him with your whole arm. Period. It's like a He-Man toy.
But the reaction of everybody to how Stewart handled it after the fact was pretty funny too. Like I thought that was somewhat accurate. I heard some people saying that, well, maybe he was just so stunned that any of this was going on that he didn't know what to do. But then him, plowing through all those people was a little over the top as well. Was it Mike Myers who was like, he should be playing like running the pass rush for the Lions?
Dude, did you see how people were falling off of him? I was like, yo.
He was shaking fools.
He was shaking me. He had the high knees going. I'm like, how is there a 6'9" running back out here? I'm thinking, sign him up immediately. He definitely should have been a tight end or something at some point in his career. Like he's in the wrong profession. He was throwing people left and right, and it was crazy. It was pretty crazy.
He basically hurt everybody in the arena except for LeBron.
Except for LeBron James. Well, anybody with a Laker uniform on, actually. It was all his own teammates and coaches. What I found the most. All right, so my take on it, just as an act. All right, so anybody who plays ball, somebody holding your arms or whatever, you have options, right? You can pull away you know, or fling your arm around or whatever. My thing is this. Was it deliberate? Wasn't it deliberate? You had some people that were just like, LeBron was basically Hannibal Lecter today. Other people who were, you know, saying that he was just a saint who has never moved, didn't even move his arm, but slightly, and the guy just ended up knocked out. Like, you had all these extremes, and I'm like, listen, in basketball, people throw elbows. 99.9% of the time, it doesn't hit anybody anywhere serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when it does, you got to take the L for it. You know what I'm saying? You throwing an elbow, bro. Like, that's what happens. You fling your arm out and you actually hit somebody, you probably are never going to hit anybody in any place that'll do damage, especially right above the eye and in the mouth somehow, like Bron did, and cut their eye open or whatever. But if you do, you flinging your arms around, man, that's what happens. You know what I mean? Now, does that make him, like, I swear to God, at the end of the day, I was like, God, this LeBron is like a diabolical, evil genius that is out to kill people. What are you guys doing? This is crazy. But then on the other side, there was this weird sainthood that people do with LeBron. And I think that's why, polarizing as LeBron has become over years, and any player, go back to Kobe Bryant, not so much Shaq. I think people just love Shaq. He could do no wrong, even when he was doing wrong, right? But it takes a weird turn, Kev, where this person becomes absolutely evil, and you cannot. There is no middle ground. He's evil, or they become, you know, just absolved of everything they do. That they've never committed any wrong. And when you do discuss the wrong, it's like, you have to discuss it with this really light tone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But my thing was like, hey, if I throw an elbow at 24-hour fitness, I'm not going to catch nobody normally. But if I catch somebody, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So that's what happened. You threw an elbow, caught somebody. That's why he immediately apologized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that was the other thing, right? It was clear that he was at least attempting to diffuse. The worst thing he did was possibly trying to diffuse the situation and make himself seem innocent when he knew he had messed up or whatever. I'm not saying that that's bad. It's just like, hey, you know, but I got to believe that is far from the hardest elbow that was thrown even in that game. Like, you grab a board, come down with the ball, and you're throwing two elbows on the regular. And if they hit the body, you're breaking ribs. It's like, it's
right.
You know, he just happened to catch him right in the right point. Like, I doubt dude even knew he was bleeding until he saw the blood. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's why he became more enraged as the blood. It just seemed like the blood just kept enraging dude. But I fell for it, and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker, the fake like $950,000 fine because you know what though, because of the reason why I fell for this so easily though was because of the malice in the palace that happened earlier and the whole dramatic scene that happened after. I felt like it's plausible that they would actually be like, you know what, $1 million fine, no one will ever do this again. You know what I mean? But I was like, which would have been fine for me if Nikola Jokic didn't only get suspended. So I'm really glad that it turned out to be fake. For those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, there was a edited Bleacher Report tweet that was going around that said that Stewart was fined $950,000. And I went, I haven't been on Facebook for nothing. Y'all got to look at the date between today's post and the last thing I posted. Like, I haven't said anything, but this was the cause that I was going to stand up for. You know, only because I had seen other players this season do things that were, I would say, probably less justified. You know what I'm saying? Than homie. Like, at the end of the day, as my eye begins to gush more and more, I'm thinking, actually, you know what? I kind of want to go head up with this dude. Now that I think about it, but yeah. But the theatrics were very theatrical. I said, dude basically got suspended for having the zoomies. You know how dogs like just wild out and start running from one end of the house to the other? That's basically what happened. Like, dude got the zoomies, and nobody could stop him.
Nobody.
It's a giant 6'9" man with the zoomies. And yeah, it was funny. It was funny But it was also like, all right, man, like let's
settle down.
Can we stop? Okay. We're still doing this. We're still oh my God, it's been 4 minutes. Dude, you're still running around. Okay. Come on. What are we doing here? You have every right to be upset. I get it. But by minute 6, I'm like,
what was it, like 15 minutes? Oh, they stopped the game for like
yeah, they stopped the game and he ran around. He did loops around people and
yeah, you know, they were just sitting there watching the ratings go up and up and up for those 15 minutes.
Right, yeah. My man J Logic, who's the world's weirdest antagonist, was like, yo, he cost the organization millions of dollars. And I'm like, dude, wasn't nobody paying attention to the Pistons till this happened. This is the most they've been talked about all season. They'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, grown man got the zoomies. But let me connect this real quick, Kev. Because I was about to go like, oh, see, this is racism in America. You know what I mean? No, because so we discuss racism on the show every week, and we were going to try to take a break from serious topics this week, but I can't. I cannot. I can't do it. It's everywhere. It's like I can't move. None. So for those of y'all who are not familiar with Nikola Jokic, he's the last year's MVP. And this year he got into what many would call an altercation with Marquise Morris. Nate, you don't have to know who the names are, the players are. Just know that Nikola Jokic is Serbian. There are no dominant white players in the league. And Marquise Morris is black. Has nothing to do with nothing on the court. Zero to do with zero in the game. Jokic does not care one way or the other, and doesn't seem that Morris cares either. I would say that in media discussion, though, it all came out, and I was like, are we doing this? So what happened was Marquise Morris hard fouls the dude at center court. The way that they discussed the Marquise Morris foul, I need y'all to just go back, even if you're not a basketball fan, just look at what he did. He ran into the dude. It was definitely a hard foul. I thought that he shot him the way they talked about Marquise Morris. I was like, Marquise Morris pulled a gun out and shot Nikola Jokic? How was he alive? Like, they talked about it like he had really tried to kill this dude. It was a hard foul. He immediately turns around, looks at the ref, turns his back to Jokic, raises his hands, says, y'all fouled him. He's trying to stop the game, stop ball, right? Jokic then, 7-foot giant of a human being, full on sprints towards dude, gets about 3 steps
and put his hip in it.
And put his full on chest and hip into pushing this dude directly in the center of his back. Blindsided, unaware what was going to happen, right? Now, look, I'm not going to exaggerate this. It was definitely violent, but you'll survive it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he caught him a little differently, he could have really hurt dude, but the odds of him really hurting him were, say slim to none. You know what I'm saying? But dude was blindsided. He wasn't facing Jokic. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't expecting it. He didn't face up to him. He didn't say, yo, what's up with that? Grab him and spin him like some type of Hollywood film and punch him. Something to let him know that he was there. So everyone praised Jokic for doing it, though. Oh, they hugged. Oh, my God. They gave this dude. They threw a parade for this dude. And I was like, if any other player in the world with my skin color had done that, there's only 2 players in the world that could have gotten away with that. Well, let's say 3 now. Jokic, Luka Doncic, and Jeremy Lin in any part of his career. Jeremy Lin could have got away. Jeremy Lin could kill several people, and they would be like, well, he's just trying really hard. You'd be like, yo, okay, I like him, but can we not? No, we can. We're going to do this every single time, Trek. And I'd be like, oh, my God. Why are we doing this? So the reason why I bring this up is because he received a 1-game suspension, no fine. Marquise Morris received I think 1 or 2. Let's just say 1-game suspension with a fine. And I was like, why did he get fined?
Okay.
What he did, he was looking at dude. You saw dude coming. He bumped into you. Hard foul. What you did was completely just blindside somebody and push them, shove them directly in their back with all of your NBA player might. So when I thought that Stewart received like $1 million fine, I was like, you need to take every Black Lives Matter thing off of the side of these. I was about to go off. I was done. But now I'm still like, y'all tripping. He should have got 2 games too, but we'll call it how it is.
And I don't remember who was taking the shot right before that happened with Jokic, but he made some hard contact, which I felt like Morris was sort of retaliating for, right?
Yep.
But what I didn't realize, what you're saying, is that Morris turned around to acknowledge the foul, which I don't think I saw, but okay.
Yeah, no, he hit him and then he put his hand. You put your hand up, ref. That's me, whatever. Completely had his back turned, not tense or anything, walking away or whatever, which may have helped him out in the end. And then he played it up. He laid on the floor for like 5. And I'm like, all right, we doing this.
He turned into a soccer player.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right. But so anyway, I know some people will call that a vague racist connection, but I just think the narrative is always skewed. And I don't even think the players that I'm talking about, because a lot of people think that when I go on these type of rants, I don't like the individuals that, like the people that are part of the story. I don't have any problem with I don't think Jokic is the racist. I don't think that Luka Doncic is the racist. I don't think that Gordon Hayward or any of these players are the actual racists. I don't even think that, I say I don't even think as if there's like some record of it, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a racist. I think that you are, right? Like you guys that accept these narratives so easily so I'm calling you guys bigots. I'm not calling the players bigots. You guys are bigots. And when I call people out for it, they get all emotional about it. But I'm saying but this is just an example of how one group of people can do something and another group of people can do something, and we have this weird sympathy for them. Because when they threw a parade for Jokic, I was like, wow, this is crazy. They're really hugging this dude. Literally not even a full 30 games before this, Patrick Beverley shoved Chris Paul in the back, and we all went crazy. We all went ballistic. We lost it. Same exact situation. And we were like, well, sometimes you just get really upset and you get to, you just need your emotional outlet. And I was like, this is freaking junior high school all over again. Like I was triggered as hell. So anyway, for those of y'all who are getting ready to tune out, you can tune back in. I'm off of it, but it was funny for me.
And Jokic kind of expressed a little bit of regret about the whole thing, didn't he?
Yeah. But then people got all goofy, like, you seen Jokic's brothers? His brothers do some damn like, look, dude. Fam, listen, that's like being in Serbia talking about what the Morris brothers should do. Fam, you in Serbia, fam, like you with they folks. You know what I'm saying? Like you think some love, I have so much love for Philly in these moments. Like you think some 2 dudes that grew up in Philly are going to just let 2 dudes from completely out of the country, which hopefully no one gets harmed, like bully them around in their hometown and their homes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, stop it. I'm just saying, like, cut it out. You know what I mean? We acted like the Morris brothers like 5'4" and incapable. Like, everybody was all excited. I was like, God, dog, this is so crazy. You could win it was the most Kyle Rittenhouse type the NBA could possibly, or NBA analyst could possibly be. Like, you can do anything as long as your skin is a certain color or whatever. But
yeah.
But all right, I digress.
But don't turn your back.
Some racism in there.
Don't turn your back on it. Yeah. Back into the ref.
Right? Just right. Foul. At this point, under those circumstances, if I'm an NBA player and I got a hard foul Jokic, I'm just gonna punch him right after, because I don't know how you gonna act. So I'm just foul you and then try to knock you out. Because if I turn around, who knows what you'll do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was a lot of tough fighting. Talk. The commentator class was being very tough. Very tough guy.
Don't you love it? The Detroit commentators were the best. They were the best. LeBron started it right there. That's where they need to look. It's like, dude, they're gonna look. They're gonna look. What are you doing?
It's on multiple camera angles.
I'm like, if you're watching it, they're watching it. Come on, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And don't get it twisted. This ain't Laker fan talk. I am as a sports fan. I'm as good as any sports fan could possibly be. Like, I'm the least biased person you'll come across. I'm like completely. I've seen 10 championships in my lifetime as a sports fan. Like a quarter of my life. My favorite team is won. What more could I ask for? So I am full. We could never win again. And I'll be like, all right, well, I've seen 10. Like, I don't know. A lot of y'all have never seen one. You know what I mean? So every year you root, your team falls off and fails. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to watch Kobe Bryant and Shaq and Magic and Kareem and Worthy. And, I'm just running down the list of why should I ever be sad when my team loses? So I'm completely not biased on any of this. I'm just saying it was a lot. The commentary for it was a bit much.
Oh man, I thought someone was going to have a heart attack.
Oh my god, it's crazy.
60-year-old people pounding on the table.
Oh my god, jowls shaking. It was crazy. Oh man. All right, man. All right, that was our first actual in-depth sports topic I think we've ever done, right? I know we talked about sports, but we've never really...
it's not really a sports topic, is it?
Yeah, I guess. I did. I went into it a little bit. All right, topic number 2. Kev's title, or my topic title for this is You Get an L, and you get an L. Everybody gets an L. Did I write that, or did you write that?
I wrote that. I'm the Oprah of this podcast.
Fair point.
You are the Gale, I guess?
Am I Gale?
I guess so. Are you Stedman? I don't know what's going on.
No. God, no. What?
Are you the L?
You get an L, and you get an L, Kev.
You're the LN.
Stop. Just stop. Listen, no one hired you for this. All right? No one tunes into the show for you to do this. Okay? Kev, a massive new lawsuit seeking $2 billion in damages from Travis Scott, Drake, Live Nation, Apple, and others has been filed on behalf of 282 plaintiffs linked to the deadly Astroworld tragedy that claimed the lives of 10 people in Houston. Mm-hmm. This was reported by the source for this is RollingStone.com. Players involved are, of course, Travis Scott, Drake, Apple, Live Nation, and dude, absolutely all the lawyer, everybody lawyer. Just every lawyer ever. If you got a lawyer, they involved in this. The underlying lawsuit alleges that Apple's multi-million-dollar purchase, promotion, and implementation of its exclusive online streaming rights played a critical role in the crowd control disaster. Per the lawsuit, Kev, early reports from the investigation of the Astroworld catastrophe indicate that the premises were arranged in a fashion that best served Apple's online streaming of the concert at the detriment of concert-goer safety. Apple Music had cameras, camera stands, cameramen, and metal barriers surrounding each. These cameras effectively split the premises both horizontally and vertically by the metal barricades, the paperwork claims. The placement of the cameras streaming for Apple Music's broadcast effectively limited many concert-goers' means of exit. This dangerous condition would inevitably prevent individuals from dispersing. A separate lawsuit, Kev, seeking at least $750 million from Drake, Scott, Apple, Live Nation, and others was filed on behalf of 125 plaintiffs by lawyer Tony Busby. Lawyers, boy.
They're out there.
Lawyers, no joke. Lawyers are no joke. You better have a lawyer because that was worded perfectly. Listen, had nothing to do with the mass amount of people in a mass area and it being generally just poorly supervised, just generally, right? There were barricades and shoes. There was air and people and moisture and all of this $2 billion. Okay. Let the lawyer speak.
It's a lot of don't re me.
Right? Whoa. No, it was no, sir. No, sir. I'm sorry. Excuse me, lawyer. What are you saying? No. Okay. People died. Right. We got that. We're already on that. We got to pay some folks. No, you don't understand. People died because of that. Wait, what? That? What is that? Whatever that is. Let me write it down. Barricades. That's why people died. All right. Okay. We're suing the barricade makers too. Good grief. Really? Yes. We're suing everybody. Some would say deservedly so. I just think the lawyers are hilarious. All right, Kev, on you.
Yeah, they're gonna make their case. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. By any means.
I mean, it's a tragedy.
It is.
I don't hate Travis Scott, but I'm not a huge fan of his. I couldn't name. Now there are artists who I can name a lot of specific details about, especially when put under pressure and on a clock. I can name a lot of hip hop information when placed in a contest type scenario very well. Yeah. But I wouldn't be able to do that for Travis Scott.
I was gonna say I haven't listened to. Doesn't he have a song with Drake? Am I tripping?
Yeah, I think that I'm assuming that's why Drake was there. But the reason I say that is to say we've all been to shows. What I don't like is the people who've never been to a hip hop show, never listened to hip hop, wanting to blame it all on him. I mean, if you're an MC and you're on stage, part of your job is getting people up.
Crowd hype. Yeah.
We had a guy who told people to get wild and fight for their country, and they ended up killing cops at the Capitol.
Yes. Yep.
Travis didn't tell nobody to do nothing. It doesn't mean that those people's lives who died are not important, or that that's an excuse for any of that happening. But there's been a lot of whatever not naysayers, but just like people who want to have their little opinion about how MCs should act at shows and stuff like that. And it sure sounded like he was trying to be engaged in the conversation after it happened. He wasn't saying there's only so much I can do. He was literally trying to have a dialogue with all the people who had complaints about what happened, which there were many. Now there are also a lot of people. We've all seen butthurt soundmen kill a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who weigh all of $105 with chains on their wallet and stuff like that, who don't like hip hop, who stop a show because they don't like, being yelled at. Who does? But a sound man can stop a show. But when you have a show that big and you have not only a sound man, sound crew, some of which are probably employees of Travis Scott, but also you have a whole security team, And if everybody's failing and you still want to put the 100% burden of that on the artist who's on stage, he's doing his job.
Right.
Yes. Would it have been nice for him to stop and make sure that everybody was okay? Yeah, I guess so. Sure.
Understood.
But he didn't do that,
I think it's difficult to fathom one thing's for sure. And I've been blessed to perform in front of a couple of pretty large crowds of thousands a couple of times. And I think what's underestimated is what that looks like from the stage. Mm-hmm. You can't manage that from the stage. And people yelling at you that something's going on wrong, also no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those sounds of stop the show don't resonate as well on stage. Now, security and a cameraman, and I'm going to go as far as to say, because I'm going to counter my own opinion here, but I'm going to go as far as to say someone climbing up on the racks of the cameraman and getting pulled off as they're trying to fight for the safety of others. That doesn't appear the same in the moment. And I understand that it should. It absolutely should to security and those that it matters to. But it does not appear the same. It just appears people do crazy things at shows. So climbing up there as much of a good Samaritan as this person was, and as much of great respect as I have for this person, what they wrote about the concert and their experience was horrifying, to say the least. But for those that kind of jumped in, it's like, dude, it just doesn't look the same as you think it does. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
However, Kev, Travis Scott has a history of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where you go wrong. It's like the elbow. You throw an elbow, you're going to miss 95 or 99% of the time. But one time you're going to dot somebody in the eye. And people are going to go, it's not your fault, but you threw an elbow. And so in this case, Travis Scott has a record he has a record where a couple security guards were injured because he had admonished the crowd to not listen to security or whatever. Listen, I am not saying that makes him, LeBron James, right? Who's an awful person. I'm saying that I'm saying that, once something like this, the odds are just like, 900 to 1. But man, when the one happens, all of a sudden you're standing there, and now people are going down the line, checking off boxes. A couple of people have compared this to Michael. Me too. I compared this to Michael Jackson. But no one died at Michael Jackson concerts. People fainted, but there's been no proof of death. I thought that happened though, Kev. I seem to remember one woman dying at a Michael Jackson concert, but maybe I'm tripping, and my memory is just that was in the 80s or early 90s. So yeah. How would I remember?
And this was certainly a situation where they're probably like I guess what I'm saying is that there were probably multiple parties at fault, including Travis. But it was so horrific, that it's not like you can. It doesn't sound like he has a lot of great team members, and I don't say that knowing who any of those team members are, nor trying to specifically disrespect anybody's talents or skills professionally, but it's not the type of situation that you can have a PR team, even the best PR team in the world, to just sweep it under the rug like a Michael Jackson or anybody else who's had that kind of situation happen. I mean, there have been plenty of concerts in our history, not just in hip hop, but across the music industry, where bad stuff has happened.
Oh, man,
I remember going, fire, all those things, and lawyers are always going to help the people who are harmed, as well as probably a few people who had nothing to do with the damage.
Right.
Close
the gates.
Get some damage.
If you didn't put the gate, like the gate was this way, right? And if the gate was this, so the gate, Kev, just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, you watch Coachella, and it's like they have people penned in, it's what people get crazy.
Man, how my
kids
friends
get crazy.
Used to come back. Man, listen, I've never been in a mosh pit and will never be in one. But how my friends used to come back from mosh pits, and I don't have anybody I know personally that's ever sued after mosh, but I've definitely heard stories, can't confirm them, where they got home and their mother looked at their face and was like, "We are suing everybody. This is crazy," or coming home with concussions or whatever, things of that nature.
That's what I was just gonna say. I remember going to a show at the Shrine. So you're there by USC, and this is like in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a Slayer show.
Whoa, let's go.
And a lot of people got hurt, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go up to the balcony.
Yes.
And just kind of check this out, see what it's all about. And yeah, I think it was the Shrine, but you have that great balcony that wraps all the way around the arena. So you many places to stand and just look, And I looked down, man, and the entire floor was a mosh pit. Just this huge, it looked like the weather map rendering of a hurricane. Just people, right? And walking out, you just see bloody, everybody looked like Isaiah Stewart coming out of that that concert, right? And I'm like, that's what you paid for, I guess. And they all acted like that's what I paid for, you know?
Oh, they
like,
loved
you know,
it.
so.
They loved every second of it.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the show that I decided to go to with a couple friends from high school that weren't really my friends per se, but like, yo, let's go to this. I know you're into hip hop, but you got to check this out. And it was like some kind of smaller show. And they're like, yo, it's going to be, I mean, they were really nice enough to warn me. Yo, listen, this is not one of those things where you go to the front of the stage. Like if you don't want to be involved, you need to go where we go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, all right, cool. And man, thank goodness for good friends, at least good acquaintances, because when that thing started wilding out, I was like, yo, this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? And chicks are, you know, people like me, like, and also women who are unaware are in there, and dude, they're getting run over. They're getting beat, you know, because it just starts small, then it the circle starts to build, and next thing you know, an elbow bow, and somebody drops a drink because they got smashed in the face, and they're all hyped, so they jump in, and I'm like, nah, man, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like, I think the other thing that, and I'm not saying, I'm going to sound like I'm saying there was bad guidance, dare I say, questionable parenting, but I'm not trying to say that. That's completely disrespectful. But I mean, you know, you got to tell your kids, like, always watch what's going on around you, because it will get silly quick.
Yeah.
That's how we got through going to a Wu-Tang show, or you know what I'm saying? Or an Onyx show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And don't be at a House of Pain show when Jump Around comes on.
Good grief.
Be as far, as close to the exits as possible. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like, you know, have a little bit of awareness.
I mean, you want to really kick. My brother and sister have stories of crawling across the street to get to their car from the Palladium after an Ice Cube show. So, yeah. So, listen, it's not, you know, concerts can be dangerous, but that's the thing, yo, as a parent, I'm going to do this. Do we have some soft key piano music? Like, we are people who have worked in the industry, gone out, been at all of these music events, etc. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people who just haven't experienced anything like this, anything like that. We've experienced this from both sides. Remember, we went to Coachella and just turned around and went home. There's too many people. Yeah. We were like, yo, we're out of here. We've experienced this from being on the stage, off stage, working for the artist, or in my case, well, and yours, being the artist. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't have that experience. So I felt so bad for the parent who just was letting their child go to a concert.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
And had no idea. It's incredibly heartbreaking, because to look back, and this is where I was saying, like, the culpability, like, from your history, right? The accountability that comes with how you carried yourself in the past shows up here. You know what I mean? Because that parent is now reading, wait a minute, he does this? He or she, this parent, is thinking that this is something that Travis Scott does. And this is where this extreme blame of Travis Scott comes from. It comes from people who just don't know, and they're in mourning, or people who don't have no one who was even involved in the party, but they're just in shock. Like, I feel so bad. I really do. I feel horrible.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I do want to know, because I heard that he had, you know, incidents like this prior, but I don't know exactly what happened. And because we were at shows where the MC on stage was saying, rush the stage, F security, kill the sound man. It's like,
sometimes you throw an elbow and it doesn't hit anyone. And sometimes you hit someone. And that's why you don't throw elbows. That's, you know what I'm saying? You try your best to not throw an elbow. Dude, you want to talk about this? Listen. The sound man was the most unsafe human being at any hip hop show.
Totally.
That dude could have sued every hip hop show every night. but I as an I've never disrespected someone. It just seems so cliche. Part one,
Yeah.
part two, you know, I don't know. I used to get away with it, but other people are holding the microphone like.
That's the thing. I'm like, bro, you're mad and you are holding the microphone upside down, dude. Is this
right?
Have you left your house ever? Like, what do you do? But yeah, but that's the and I'm again, who knows what the specific situation leading into the show was for any of the people who were affected in the slightest regard. What we do know is that it turned out terrible.
Awful.
But yeah, man. And I think of Travis Scott as like some sort of emo rap kind of more low key kind of dude.
I know nothing about
him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I know nothing about him.
Which is probably wrong of me. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta, you know, get your kids ready for battle, man. You know what the thing is? Also, we talked about mosh pits. There's the other rule of being in a mosh pit is that if you see somebody go down, pick them up.
Pick them up.
Clear a lane and pick them up, right? And I've seen people do that as well, you know. You still might catch an elbow to the face, to the mouth or whatever.
You
but
catch one while you're helping.
Yeah. But by and large, that's a rule that gets followed. So, you know, we need to have a little bit of that energy if we're going to have the crazy energy at hip hop shows. I can't even say our shows because it's not my shows, but
it ain't mine either. My shows are really tame, actually. Just hands up. You might catch it. You might, you know, rotator cuff issues. Hands up up higher.
Hairy armpit in the face from a tall person.
Move out the way, man. Hands is going up. Some people gonna jump up and down, and we're gonna dance a little bit. We're gonna two-step, and then we going home, y'all. Y'all ready to go home? Like we out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you might catch an offbeat two-step every now and then. Yeah, that's the thing I hated. Yeah. They were like, here's some footage of Adele stopping her concert for somebody who had a seizure during the show. I'm like, that's Adele.
Right.
That's Adele. And they do have most of the people in that crowd were just really focused on trying to make sure they were clapping on the 2 and the 4.
Hello from the don't play no drums. Yo, check it out. My thoughts on this are there is some side footage of Travis Scott saying, "Hey, you know, help that guy out." You know what I mean? So there I'm just saying I'm not absolving him of it. Like I said earlier, when I made my point, I was going to turn around and kind of kill my own point because you have a history of this. I'm not saying that he did, you know, wanted anybody to get harmed. There's something about maybe him being satanic or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how people know any of this stuff. I feel like every time somebody is black and super rich or successful, they're like, Satan was involved. It's like, dude, can black people just do stuff? Is it possible that somebody could just succeed in this? Like, it's like
the Illuminati.
Sing. Exactly. Wow. What do you mean you were able to read and write and make it? Satan. Okay. I guess
that's what happens when you get vaccinated.
Right. So I'm you know, whatever. I don't know anything about that. I'm just saying, once you get that history, man, and then it happens and something happens. And we're not going to have a lot of conversations like this because it's not going to happen a lot, right?
I was just realizing we just had an entire conversation where we prefaced it with, we really don't know anything about any of the people involved or what happened specifically, but...
Well, no, we know what happened at the show, and you know we're aware of the logistics of how these things work, or you know we've been involved in these type of events, whether you know from multiple sides of this. That's why I think this is a good place to go if you want to discuss this because or hear people have a discussion about it because you're actually talking to two people who would know quite a bit about how it looks from the from Travis Scott's side of the stage, not necessarily just being Travis Scott. Or I'm not saying I've ever even been in his position with the massive amount of people. I've never been at that type of show, but I can tell you what it looks like when there are thousands of people in front of you. Not that many thousands. You're not catching a lot of social cues from people out there. If someone was hurt at the shows I did like that in Europe, I would never know. There's no way I would know. The lights are facing you, part one, right? So you're looking out into the audience. You're not seeing like faces. It's like one big blob of humanity. You know what I mean? Yeah. You might key in on one face if that face is close enough to the front. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's always so cool to go to those shows and have the major artists engage with you. Trust me, if that artist engages with you, you're like one of the only people that artist sees. Sure. You know what I mean? So that's a special moment for you as a fan or a listener, especially if it's your favorite artist. But I'm saying, but on the other side of that, when you do instigate these type of things, all of my homeboys that said beat up the sound man, fortunately for them, the sound man was never beat up. But if the sound man was beat up and hurt in a real way, I'd have the same conversation. Sometimes you throw an elbow, and when it hits, that's your ass.
That's when your elbow becomes an L.
It becomes a super L.
Bro.
Yeah, that's the L. Dude, nobody pays you for that. Like nobody. All right.
But yeah, well, that's the thing. He's taken multiple L's. Drake's probably going to take an L because he's Drake. Live Nation and Apple are definitely going to take L's. And the next time he wants to do a show of that magnitude, the insurance company who paid all these people is going to be like, I think we're going to take a pass on this one.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's going to become very expensive. So he, if the lesson isn't learned on his part, which he has lessons to learn, I'm sure, I don't know what to say. Then he's definitely a bozo, but
yeah, fall on the sword too, guys.
Yeah, okay. And to put in perspective what you just said, think about when you're at say a football game, especially, but even like a basketball game at a mid-sized arena, packed arena, energy's up, close game, people are out of their seats or whatever. If a fight breaks out in the stands. And you see it, when you see that fight happening, that fight started about 20 minutes ago. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. So think about if you're on stage and you're not, obviously you're focused on the audience, but as well, you're not focused on them individually. You want to make them feel like you're focused on them individually, but you're probably not, like you were saying, so it's not a cut and dry case. Let's just say that.
It's not. I'll give one last analogy. We've been full of analogies, but I'll give one last analogy. Some people drive recklessly and nothing ever happens. They change lanes all the time, like speeding at 90 up and down the freeway. They never hit anybody. They never get hit, and they grow old enough to say, I'm never doing that again. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I used to drive like that, right? Some people hit a family with 5 people in the car.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? And look, both people are the same. Both people drive recklessly. Both people, shouldn't be doing it. Both people are aware of the speed limit. All of the things. It's just that one hit a family of 5 in a van, and the other never hit anybody. You know what I'm saying?
I just ran across one the other day, man. I'm driving with the kid in the car, and I just see somebody mashing, and I see them in my rearview mirror. I'm just like, oh boy, right? Swerving between lanes on Glen Oaks, so it's only 2 lanes each way.
Yeah, it's only 2.
And they're just going, and there's a bike rider who's like taking up most of the number 2 lane. So I'm like, wow, you're a jerk too, but whatever.
Yeah.
And just honking the horn and all this. And at some point, there's a point where you see somebody doing something so crazy and you just want to sort of pull up next to them and see what time it is. Mm-hmm. Just to, if nothing else, give them the look like, I see you. You need to calm down, right?
Chill out.
I pull up next to this person and I look over and it is a old white-haired lady.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, OG, you are doing the most.
You gotta settle down.
You're going to spend your golden years in the city lockup there. What are you doing?
For real. You better chill out, man. So yes, it's very unfortunate. I think both topics we talked about today, one is obviously less serious than the other, but I think both topics tie in and you know, one shot, you know what I'm saying? All it takes is one shot and one hit and it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's time for the Sakoda ones. Yo. If y'all not familiar with Sakoda ones, it's basically the Sakoda one-liners where I drop let's say a crazy, I don't know, zany headline, and Kev responds, and Kev is likely general. But what happens here is it was supposed to be, this is how thorough and efficient Kev Sakoda is. This was supposed to be basically the headline and a Kev response. But Kev actually reads the articles, so he also has like a full-on detailed general idea of what the whole thing is, right? So this is why this is, the Sakoda ones. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Because most people would be like, yeah, just give me the headline and let's get over with the show. All right. Here we go. Like me, I'd be like, what? One line? I'm not doing no studying. All right, Kev, you ready?
Yep.
Self-driving cars gather in a San Francisco neighborhood, confusing residents.
One question. What kind of cars?
Waymo.
Way more money? Way more problems. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming out. God bless.
Yeah, these guys got way more time on their hands than they need to. Can you imagine your car?
You should read it, though. You should read it to see how silly the explanation of.
Yeah. I'm like, I didn't want to destroy my initial vision of it, which was the cars like catching up with each other, like hollering at each other, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? All right, man, he sleep. Word? This early? Man, let's go over it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's an electric gas pump joint or electric pump over here. Let's all meet up by the pumps. Like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Is that what it's called? A pump?
I don't know. I have no idea. I had already stopped myself at the electric gas pump. I had to try to catch but it had already come out. Like I was like, all right, well, there we go. Now I got that one's on my record.
Who got some snaps on the voltage?
Man, I want to roll over there, but this fool want to drive down to LA. Like, who want to go down there? I ain't even know electric gas pumps down there. Except for in Santa Monica.
Oh man, that's what that infrastructure bill was. Electric gas pumps.
Electric gas pumps.
Just to make everybody happy.
Hybrid pumps. Get ready, man. I told you it was gonna happen. Hybrid gas stations are on their way. Yo, thank y'all for tuning in, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. I am your homeboy Track Life, and that right there is your fam Kev Sakoda.
Gas face.
Electric gas face.
Electric gas face. Wow. That's the worst Tribe album ever.
No, that is, you know what? I'm going to take a shot. That is what your mashups used to sound like, people. When you would mix like Tribe Called Quest with 90s and you would call it like electric gas face. That is what you guys used to sound like. And I used to pick up your stupid jewel case mashup mixtapes and be like, I hate you and I hate this. So this is a shot at the mid 2000s. I hate you guys for it. I hate you guys for you mad. I hate it. I'm still mad at you for it. That's what it used to sound like. I hate y'all. Anyhow, if you'd like to catch past episodes of Rap 6 Radio, you can go to rap6radio.com or any of your favorite podcasting platforms. You can also catch us on television on BTSN, that is Behind the Scenes Network. What you do is you download the app or channel on your Roku or any of your Amazon Fire devices. Click on the app or channel, and we are there right there live with a bunch of dope content alongside of us from other creators. BTSN, Behind the Scenes Network. We want in. Thank y'all for listening. On the count of three, we say peace. 1, 2, 3. Peace.
Peace.
We out of here, y'all.
Bye-bye.